Probably go out to eat.
And that's why
Buy a
you
tank
need
of
it.
gas, some liquor and shit. I want.
That's why he need it, because he don't last for 1 month, 2 months.
Yeah, I want it in one lump sum.
Mm-hmm.
It runs yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is 6 o'clock and the work session for mayor and council for May 2nd is going to begin. And I'll first begin with our mission statement. It is the mission of the city of Forest Park to enhance, strengthen, and grow our city by collaborating with our community to provide the highest level of service, striving to be recognized as a diverse community that values and respects all members. We will strive to provide fair, professional, and courteous service through transparency and open communication. As we work to achieve this mission, we will have integrity beyond reproach while employing fiscal discipline and innovation. In this work, there are no praises nor raises for mediocrity. Ms. White, can we have our roll call, please?
Good evening, everyone. Roll call for today, May 2nd. Councilmember James.
Present.
Councilmember Anton.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Present.
Councilmember Aiken-Wells.
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor and council, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Dr. Cooper, you have the floor for your city manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. City Manager's report from May.
Oh, we know the recording feature works.
Ready? All right. The Forest Park Fire Department is recruiting for its Community Emergency Response Team, its CERT team. It's a training program that promotes and partner efforts between emergency services and the people they serve. Forest Park Fire and Emergency Services established its local CERT program in 2005, and they're often called to assist firefighters, rehab during responses and training, search and rescue operations and disaster operations, evacuations, and more. The meetings are held every first Thursday of the month and as needed for additional training with prior notification. So if interested, there are interest forms on the table outside. You could drop them off at any Forest Park fire station, or you can call 404-608-2373. City has issued a press release informing residents that beginning at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, April 27th, that a portion of Pine Ridge between Springdale and Watts Ferry Drive would be closed to through traffic in order to address a sinkhole issue in the immediate area. We expect that it will be in effect for approximately 90 days. So for questions, you can visit the city's website or contact Seema Cox at the number provided. City of Forest Park is finalizing plans for our community field day featuring the Forest Park High School Senior Caravan on March 21st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. held on the Kiwanis football field, South Avenue, Forest Park. We will have special guests, Mr. 8-time Olympian, Mr. Olympia, bodybuilding champion Lee Haney, and you could bring the family out for all the fun and activities, and we are still looking for volunteers to help with that event. On Thursday, April 28th, Mayor Angeline Butler, Councilmember Ward 1, Kimberly James, Councilmember Ward 2, DeBooz Antoine, and I attended the naming of Terrafield Stadium after Super Bowl 40 MVP and Forest Park-owned Hines Ward. The city also issued a proclamation to Mr. Ward in celebration for all his accomplishments, which I did not remember because I don't watch it, but I found out he actually won Dancing with the Stars. So that was a new one for me. The new name moving forward and forevermore would be Hines Ward Field at Terra Stadium. And that's just a picture taken when we issued the proclamation. Under our city operations, the Champion of Forest Park series is a series featuring key community stakeholders. And again, we just posted a new video today. So please visit our website to find out all the happenings and all the great things going on in the city of Forest Park. I would like to issue congratulations to Jody Thompson, Enrique Barlow, Caleb Flood, Ryan Whitley, and Christopher Harris on meeting all the requirements and passing the fire apparatus operators course, written and the practical examination to be promoted to the status of FAO within the Forest Park Fire Department. That's a huge undertaking. Even though I never took the test, I know exactly what they go through to get there. So congratulations, Chief Clemens, Deputy Chief Halcomb, on all your efforts to push this forward. We do have new staff to introduce to council, so we will start. Chief Clark, would you like to start?
Can you hear me now? Is it on? Okay, let me start back over again to Mayor Butler, members of the City Council, Dr. Cooper, and to our citizens and guests of this great city of Forest Park. First and foremost, I want to talk to you about a little bit about 3 new officers we recently hired, even though they're not present today. They recently graduated from our training academy. Officer Kiara Chittick, Officer Roberto Cardina, and Officer Amir Holmes. We also hired 2 new civilians. One is here, one is absent due to circumstances beyond her control. First is Taylor Phillips. She's assigned to E911 Dispatch Communications. Ms. Phillips, if you would please stand. And then we have Ashley Powell, who is unable to be with us. She's assigned as one of our staff assistants. Our recent promotions appointments, we have Lieutenant Darrell Whitehead, a 24-year veteran with the Forest Park Police Department. He was recently promoted to the rank of captain on the 27th of last month. We also brought in Lieutenant Kayla Gant, who's here today. If you will please stand, she's been promoted to the rank of captain to this department. We also have Robert D. Winter. He's a 10-year veteran with this department. He has been promoted to the rank of lieutenant. Thank you.
I also know we have Ms. Mays with us, and she's just been put on her own from the FTO program as well. Just met her today, so congratulations, Ms. Mays. Do we have any other staff? Thank you, Madam Mayor. That ends the city manager's report.
Excellent. Thank you and welcome aboard, everybody. Up next, we have our EMS coordinator, Joe Meany, with our COVID update. You have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How are you? Wonderful. So as of May 1st, 2022, in total, Clayton County has had a total of 58,025 cases confirmed of COVID-19 with 902 confirmed deaths since the beginning of the pandemic. In the last week, there were 160 new positive cases in Clayton County, which has decreased by approximately 200 from the same time last month. Case breakdown shows approximately 57.5% of cases to be female, 42.1% of males, and the remaining 0.4% is unknown. Forest Park continues to make up an 8.9% of total county cases, which is the same number as last month and the numbers and the months preceding. We show 10 new cases in the last week that have been confirmed by testing, which shows us to have a continuation of approximately between 5 and 12 new cases per week on average. The 20 to 60 age group shows the highest percentage of positive cases, with African Americans showing the highest positive case percentage, followed by unknown ethnicity and then Caucasian, then other, and lastly, the Asian population throughout the county. 51% of county residents have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine, equaling a total of 144,839 citizens. 46% show fully vaccinated, which shows about 131,399 citizens. And then 52,071 citizens have received the additional booster dose that is recommended, which makes up 18%. All in all, shows a total of 39% of Clayton County to be fully vaccinated with the additional recommended booster. The age group has changed a little bit, showing the 35 to 64 age groups having the highest vaccination rates throughout Clayton County. Countywide, there were 160 confirmed new COVID-19 cases between 4/25 and 5/1. Of those cases, 92 of those were unvaccinated, 6 were partially vaccinated, 38 were fully vaccinated, and 24 were fully vaccinated with a booster. 7 unvaccinated of those cases were hospitalized, resulting in 1 death. The CDC continues to encourage and recommend vaccinations and boosters for COVID-19, which are available through several means. The current recommendation for vaccines are anyone over the age of 5 years old. The current recommendation for boosters is at least 5 months after receiving the final dose of the Moderna series or Pfizer series shots, or 2 months after receiving the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. A second booster dose is also currently being reviewed and recommended for people that are over the age of 50 with underlying medical conditions and should be administered at least 4 months after the previous dose. To locate a vaccine site, your primary medical provider should be contacted to see if they're providing the vaccine. You can also text your zip code to 438-829 or call 1-800-232-0233 to find local vaccine providers. Contacting your primary care physician or local pharmacy also is a good option to see if they are giving vaccines or know of vaccine locations that they recommend, as well as for boosters. The Clayton County Health District is still giving vaccines based on availability and are rotating their locations throughout the county to allow for easy access to citizens. They are requesting that people wishing to receive the vaccine or booster from them call and make an appointment at 678-479-2223 or visit www.claytoncountypublichealth.org. All this information is also available on the city website under the Fire Department tab under the COVID-19 information.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. New business, Clayton County Summer Food Service Program Agreement, background and history. Wait, before we get into that, yes, I'm going to ask if we could have a motion to adjust the work session to include a presentation by, what group is that, Councilman? By Earth Tomorrow. Is there a motion to accept that change? That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman DeBose. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We'll have the presentation.
It's on, right? Okay. So good evening, everyone. My name is Evan Miner. I'm the president of the Forest Park Earth Tomorrow organization. We've been here a couple times in the past, but I'll give a quick little rundown of Earth Tomorrow. So Earth Tomorrow is a environmental justice organization under the National Wildlife Federation and Eco Schools. They strive to help students in frontline communities get out into nature and experience what it has to offer, and overall creates really nice environmental leaders to lead us into the future. So today we're here to bring you guys a project we've been working on with Waste Management Director, Mr. Owens, for the past couple of months. It's been a recycling campaign. It's been school and community-wide. So if you can just kind of direct your eyes up there on the screen. So our goals were to educate the students and residents of Forest Park. That educating of the residents was our phase 1, and this educating of the students is the phase 2 of our project. We'll get further into the presentation. The survey of the results is referring to our phase 1, which is when we went out and kind of did a survey of 2 streets, which we'll get into. And then our Earth Month campaign, which was our phase 2, which is our inside of our school. And overall, the purpose of it was to start a full year-round recycling program in our school. So this is referring to our phase 1 of the project. So the way it worked is that we went out for 4 weeks every Friday through the months of February and March. And as you know, it surveys 2 of the streets, which was Skyland and Warren. We surveyed about 80 homes. And we kind of went out and gave them literature on recycling and some important information and where they could find those resources. So when you saw the door hangers or cart hangers, this is what it was referring to. I can say from experience being out there, a lot of those red ones were handed out in the very beginning of it. But the red one, we were able to kind of select items that we found that were contaminants inside of those bins. And then the green ones, obviously, if you did it right, you were able to find some more information about your recycling program in the city. And when we were out there, when we were kind of doing the recycling education, we focused a lot on the 3 R's, which are reduce, reuse, and recycle. That was something we really tried to push towards our residents, kind of find some more information on. So these are some of our key notes that we had from our surveying project. I won't go into like a whole bunch of detail. You see a whole bunch of words, but but a lot of what we found during the 4 weeks is that we saw some progress through our education pieces, because in the week when we first started, we had a whole bunch of contaminated bins, but as we progressed, we started to see some increased interest, and we could tell residents were really trying to improve how they were recycling. Most of our commonly found items were those plastic bags, and as you know, plastic bags, you need to take it back to the retailer that you got it from. Can't go directly to waste management. And food and beverages, which is, you know, a big no-no in recycling, because you don't want to have that and start causing bacteria. The most impressive thing that we had was during the survey, we were able to talk to some of those residents. Obviously, when we were in school, we weren't able to get out and talk to residents, but surveying the streets, we were able to do that. And a lot of them did not know they had a recycling day. So they just kind of used it as a second trash bin, which was, you know, if you have one person who messes up the recycling, you mess up for the entire street. So that was a big issue, but they seemed to correct it after they found out they had a recycling day. But in all, we concluded with all the information that we collected from the houses and what they had to say and how they improved or how they didn't improve. We concluded that with the right encouragement and with the right knowledge and information and education on recycling from the city, that the city could be doing a lot more recycling than they are going to landfills. So with, you know, Earth Tomorrow would gladly help the city promote more of the recycling. If you guys are willing to do that and work with us, because we really want to see the city improve its carbon footprint and improve its environmental impact on the planet we call home. So that concludes our phase 1 of the project. I'll pass it over to my co-president, Monica Kim, to talk about phase 2.
Good evening, everyone. So phase 2 of our project was in partnership with Waste Management and Earth Tomorrow. As you know, April is known as Earth Month, and to celebrate that, we hosted the Earth Day Month project campaign called Let Earth Breathe campaign. So to kick off our week, we set a week full of activities with fun and sensitive to get students engaged with recycling. We did a bottle contest where students bring in their recyclable water bottles, and we weighted them, and whoever had the most won. We did a upcycling contest where students were encouraged to create something creative and new with reusable material. We did a pin design and then a waste survey at the end of the week. And throughout the week, we push out educational piece on recycling through mass email in the school. We did this so students and staff could get a better understanding of recycling. And with continuous support of recycling education during the week, many students and staff did show better understanding of recycling as shown in the survey. So at the end of the week, we did a waste survey, and this was just a quick way for us to just get an understanding of what does the students and the staff know. And it provided us a more better understanding on what is commonly thrown out in our school. And this will be an important part in coming into play with our recycling program at Forest Park High School next year. And finally, during this week, we conducted a trial run on the recycling program in our school. We placed bins in our cafeteria and allowed students to recycle things they would generally throw away. And we saw that if given the chance, students and staff will recycle stuff that they generally would throw away. And this was our key part in planning out the recycling program next year. That will be important into funding our clubs and gardening projects. And this is just a picture of our Earth Tomorrow club that all of them has been really important in just conducting with waste management and Earth Tomorrow different projects.
So Mr. Owens was supposed to be here, but I'm not sure.
Actually, I can speak on his behalf.
Thank you.
So on behalf of Mr. Owens, he did text me and let me know that he was just getting back from DC. So he sends his apologies. But he does want you to know that he has a big check in his office in the amount of $400 for Earth Tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
So I will gladly take any questions that you guys may have about our project or partnering with us or any other questions that you have.
So I want to thank you both for your presentation. I do agree that there are many ways that we can reduce our carbon footprint, and this is just one of the ways. But my question is, the partnership with the city, what would that look like to the pair of you?
Do you want to talk on it? Or? So the question is, how would we view our partnership?
Yes. What would that look like?
I guess we would view our partnership as a just helping our city. I'm not really sure how to say it.
What would we have to do?
Oh, so what you'd have to do is just help us push out education stuff. Because just coming from the school, it's a little difficult to get it to everyone in the city. So that would be your part, but we would do a lot of the manual and physical work of doing it. We just need you guys to help us push it out. So we would do the promoting from school standpoint. And if we ever had to do another survey, we would be willing to do that. We just need your help really pushing it out and getting people engaged.
So we do have is it a monthly newsletter that goes out in which, and I'm sure the governing body would not mind, but we could create maybe a little section for you guys to, even if it's something fun, like a cartoon picture or your survey or just updates, or if you're going to continue on doing streets to analyze, we can let people know what streets are coming up next. But I think we would be okay with giving you guys a section in our monthly newsletter.
I like the way that sounds. Yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all so much. This is very much needed. And I think that the recycling education is going to be very important because you're right. We are using that second trash can or our recycled trash can as waste. And a lot of people in our city, well, a few people in our city actually use it for recycling, but little do they know that it's not being recycled. And so I think that's a big problem, I think. So I think that we do have to do a better job of letting people know that we have to get our recyclables uncontaminated so that we can begin that process of moving back into allowing our recycles to be recycled. Right now, you're right, they're going into the landfill. So thank you so much for your work and looking forward to And congratulations, by the way, these are seniors. They're gonna be close by and they've been accepted in colleges, so congratulations.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, young leaders, how y'all doing? I see
Good,
you
how are
guys
you?
every morning. I'm proud of you guys. I want to also share how important it is to get your peers at the high school. Because you think about it, you have a family, right? It's actually the kids that really need to be empowered with the education so they can get the parents involved in this. Because once the kids care about it, then the parents will get involved. So that's my challenge to you. I'll also challenge to come on, let's have a meeting about this because Ward 2 covers 3 of the wards. So a lot of the trash that comes is because we cover Ward 1, Ward 2, and Ward 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This ward covers that. And a lot of the trash might be coming from this ward. So I would love to partner up with you on educating people on the right thing to do. Yes. So count me in.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yeah, just thank you for bringing this up. I'm just really proud to see y'all. Like Evan is my old student in 8th grade, and just to see him talk up there always makes me proud with that jacket too, man. That's a fly jacket. So just, yeah, it just, when the youth in our community just take ownership of things and their city, that's how we evolve as people with education and initiative and taking pride in where we live. So just thank you for that. It's very refreshing. And like Antoine said, I mean, we're here, we're allies in this. So let us know how we can help. If we can't give you money, we'll find organizations that'll help this. Like this is our plan and we got to take care of it. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I just agree with my colleagues. I appreciate you all for taking the time and the energy to put back in your community. That means a lot. You can be doing anything else, but you're focused on making the community better. So thank you guys so much. And whatever I can do, we can do to help, I'm all in. Thank you.
Councilman Mears, you want to round us out here?
I'm on board. Anything that needs to be out of Ward 5, just right around the corner from the school there, we'd be more than happy to help and assist in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business, Clayton County Summer Food Service Program Agreement. Background and history. Recreation Department would like to enter into a summer food service program partnership with Clayton County Public Schools to provide meals, breakfast and lunch to summer camp 2022 participants and children in the community ages 18 years and under from June 6, 2022 through July 22nd, 2022. The seamless summer option will provide Clayton County Public Schools free summer meals in low-income areas during the traditional summer vacation periods. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this item?
Nope.
All right, thank you. Item 2, citywide janitorial services, background and history. The various departments throughout the city is requesting your approval to enter into a contractual agreement with the following janitorial service contractor, Essential Services. The Department of Procurement conducted a request for proposals for citywide janitorial services, and of the 8 firms that submitted their proposals, Essential Services was the lowest and most qualified firm, and therefore they were selected. This will eliminate the use of several different janitorial contractors providing services to individual departments and replace it with one contractor for the entire city. The contract will last for 3 years with 2 additional 1-year term renewal options if the city wants to continue with this firm based on their performance. Any questions or comments or discussion on this item?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
So the only question I have is with the one janitorial service conducting all of the buildings, are they going to be on a set schedule to do different departments on different days, or how is that going to work?
As we have it right now, there are certain departments that will be done daily. And then there are departments that will be, or areas that will be done on as requested basis. So right now they do have a set schedule for several of the main departments that are used daily, such as Public Works, City Hall, PD, well, not the fire stations because the firefighters do that themselves, but those departments that are used on a regular basis. such as the council house and different things, that will be done on a request basis.
Any other questions or comments?
I would just, and I think this kind of like overall, as far as when we get proposals in or bids in, is there any way that we can get the information so we can look at it so we actually know? Because I actually tried to look this company up and it said a construction company. So I would just, in order to vote on something, I would have to have the proper information. And I, like I said, I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. So that would be good if the council can get the information that others are getting so we know exactly what we're approving.
Maybe more, would you like to see the proposal or?
Yes, when people put in proposals, I would like to see them so that I can say, not that I don't trust people, but so that I know what I'm voting on. So
Would you
that I,
like to see the proposal for the one chosen? Because we had 8 different firms.
well, all of them, so that just all of them, just so I can hear the information. I'd rather have the information and vote on it than to not have it and then just saying, okay, well, yes, I'll approve this, but I don't know who it is. It's kind of like what we did with the mural, the artist guy. We just voted on it and nobody had any other information. So I would just like that for my own records. So that's it.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
So the other question that I have regarding this firm is the current people that we are using right now, will they be able to work with this company or do they have their own staff that,
They will be working with this company.
okay, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Item 3, council approval of conditional use permit at 5370 Ash Street. And this will be on for a public hearing. Actually, the next 3 items will be set for a public hearing during the regular meeting. Background and history. The applicant, Kelvin Waters, is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a church, school, and associated offices at 5370 Ash Street. This property is in the single-family residential district. Places of worship, private schools, and daycares require conditional use permits to operate in the single-family residential district. Currently, the property houses occasional worship services and a virtual learning school. Staff recommended approval of the conditional use permit to allow a church, school, and a daycare in the single-family residential district with the following conditions. The applicant and/or his tenants cannot operate a trucking or freight business in this location. The applicant and/or his tenants may be allowed to operate a church, school, and a daycare and offices associated with those uses. However, no other offices or commercial uses will be permitted. Storage of vehicles, trucks, and trailers is prohibited. Violation of these conditions will result in the loss of the conditional use permit and associated business licenses. The Planning Commission voted to approve the conditional use with conditions. Are there any questions or comments or discussion on this item?
No brainer to me.
I do have a question. With the school, does it go through the state to get accreditation or anything of that nature?
I believe they have to go through the state to get accreditation, but we'll have to double check with Waters.
Okay, so then my follow-up question would be if for whatever reason they are not granted that with the state, then that portion of the conditional use will be null and void automatically.
Well, that and they wouldn't be able to get a business license to operate at that location.
So they'll have to provide whatever correspondence comes from the state to the city. How long do they have to do that? Oh, I guess we got to figure out once they get it. Is anyone from the school present or from this facility present? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a question. So it looks like it's a church already, so they want to add a school. Is that what it is?
Yes, well, they're It's kind of a long story, but they ended up selling the church. The church that was originally there, the congregation, is still operating there. I believe Mr. Waters has another individual that would also like to use the building as a church and a school and a daycare. It's a big building. There are actually two of them, but yes,
And y'all's recommendation is to approve this?
approve it with condition, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Yes.
When we do the conditional use permits, is planning and building is only going out to these locations to make sure, not just with them, but all of them, to make sure that's what's being done there? Okay, before you all approve. Okay. Thank you.
Item 4, council approval of text amendments. Background and history. In September of 2021, the city council approved the City of Forest Park's new zoning ordinance and sign ordinance. With these changes, the Planning and Community Development Department has discovered some areas of these ordinances that need to be amended for clarity. The requested text amendments will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, and the use will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this item? Item 5, council approval of technical map amendments. Background and history. The Planning and Community Development Department is proposing several map amendments. PC 2022-02 includes changing to the zoning map. In September 2021, the City of Forest Park City Council adopted a new zoning ordinance and a new zoning map. Staff finds that certain zoning districts, as shown on the zoning map, are inconsistent with the existing character and development areas in the city. The proposed technical map amendment corrects technical errors to the zoning map that were adopted in September of 2021. The requested map amendments will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the city, and the use will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Any questions, comments, or discussion on this item?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this may be, well, this is just questions I have. Okay, so in the map, and thank you all for the map, is great. I like the way you have it color coded so we can actually see what the changes are. So going from a 2-family residential zoning to an industrial commercial, what does that look like? I mean, I see it, but I mean, what is it actually? Can you give me an example of what business that would be?
So the area that we were referring to is already, it's an empty vacant lot. It is surrounded by industrial areas. It's the very far west side of Main Street over near Wendy. So that's an industrial park. There's several industrial buildings and uses along that stretch of road. It was a mistake when the map was created, that it was double zoned. Typically, every parcel has one zoning category. This one had 2, the first one being light industrial, second one being residential multifamily, and it showed RM on the zoning map. This is just to essentially cross off the multifamily. That whole area, it doesn't look like it could I personally wouldn't want to live between a couple of, trucking company and a meat processing plant. So the use isn't going to be affected. It's just going to be a continuation of what's already there.
Okay, so I guess, Madam Mayor, yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
continue. Okay, so I guess this is kind of the same thing with all the other maps. It's just trying to make it where it's zoned correctly. It's not adversely affecting a resident that may be there, living there now. It's just zoned that way, and it's no construction like that. Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. And we will be entering into an executive session. Do you want to try to go now? All right, I will ask for a motion to recess the work session and enter into an executive session for personnel, litigation, or legal matters.
So moved.
That's Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Antoine, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I thank you. We shall return. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive session and reconvene into our work meeting?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Councilman Mears is in the restroom at the moment. And so it is. We'll wait a second. Oh, yes. So let's adjourn the work session. Is there a motion to adjourn the work session?
So move.
That's Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That's Councilman Gutierrez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. So while we are waiting on Councilman Mears, I am going to open up the regular meeting. It is 7:03. And so the regular meeting for mayor and council for May 2nd is called to order. And I will begin this meeting by reading our mission statement. It is the mission of the City of Forest Park to enhance, strengthen, and grow our city by collaborating with our community to provide the highest level of service, striving to be recognized as a diverse community that values and respects all members. We will strive to provide fair, professional, and courteous service through transparency and open communication. As we work to achieve this mission, we will have integrity beyond reproach while employing fiscal discipline and innovation. It is the work, in this work, there are no praises nor raises for mediocrity. Invocation for tonight will be done by Dr. Beeler of Gateway Restoration. So Dr. Beeler, you have the floor, sir. All those who are able to stand, can you please do so and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance?
You know, it's always interesting. I guess on my own, yes. I hate to do that. But as I was preparing for this, I was praying about what to pray about. Because I realized that we need a word. And we need a word from God. And what I heard him say to me as I was coming down the street, I saw the blue skies and I saw the dark clouds trying to move in. And I realized that they are going to move away. And the word that resonated within me was hope. Was hope. Not just having the hope, but passing the hope. Passing it on. And so I'd like to pray that this city be endured with hope. Father, we come boldly to your throne of grace. We come in a new and living way to your throne. Lord, we believe and doubt not that with you all things are possible. And we believe, Lord, that we can cause hope to flow like a river from our hearts to even the desert places in this city and bring life to wherever it goes, Lord. For we know that if we have hope, Lord, that we can continue to progress and that we can love beyond what we thought it was our capacity because we have hope. Lord, I believe that it's you that can make it strong within us, that when the winds of adversity blow, that will not cause us to fail, Lord, but we will operate and maintain a clear vision of hope for this city. Lord, I ask you to bless the mayor and bless the councilmen, Lord, that everything that they do, Lord, it will be endured with wisdom and understanding and knowledge that you have called them for such a time as this, Lord. And Lord, let the hope prevail in their hearts. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America, to the republic for which you stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Amen.
Thank you for that incredible message. Roll call, please, Ms. White.
Roll call for the day's regular meeting. Councilmember James.
Present.
Councilmember Anton.
Good evening, everybody.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Aiken Wells. Here. And Councilmember Mears.
Hello, hey, here.
He's fresh.
Mayor and
Fresh off
council,
the
you have a
chair.
quorum.
Excellent, thank you. Is Mr. Andy Porter with us today? Oh, excellent. Oh, yes. All right, sir, I am going to swear you in. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will honestly and faithfully for the city of Fort Myers, I first swear that I am not the holder of any unaccountable to the state or any political or authority thereof, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any political, or any foreign state, from which I am, by the laws of the state of Georgia, that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and the laws of Georgia, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and this state, in observance of the provisions of the Charter and Code of Ordinances for the city of Fort Myers.
Thank you very much.
All right, so the next item is a proclamation.
I got you, Mayor.
To recognize the vital and appreciated services performed by the municipal and deputy clerks in serving the changing needs of their communities. This May will be the 53rd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, initiated in 1969 by IIMC and is endorsed by all of its members throughout the United States, Canada, and 15 other countries. In 1984 and in 1994, Presidents Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton respectfully signed a proclamation officially declaring Professional Municipal Clerks Week, the first full week of May, and recognizing the essential role municipal clerks play in local government. IIMC is a professional association of city, village, town, township, borough, and city clerks, secretaries, and recorders. IIMC prepares its members to meet the challenges of the diverse role of the municipal and deputy clerk by providing services and continuing professional development opportunities to benefit members of the government entities they serve. Founded in 1947 in French Lick, Indiana, IIMC has 14,700 members throughout the United States, Canada, and 15 other countries. So I'm going to ask the governing body to come down with me. And Ms. White, if you could come down while we deliver this proclamation. Dr. Cooper, you as well. Come on. So the proclamation is as follows. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world and is the oldest among public servants. And whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the city of Forest Park do hereby recognize the week of May 1 through May 7th, 2022 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our very own professional municipal clerk, S. Diane White, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Now, this does not come with a raise or any extra time off, but from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for all that you do. Is there anything you'd like to say? No? No, you sure? Okay. Y'all don't go anywhere. Wait, we got one more picture. All right, public hearings. I'm going to ask that for a motion to recess the regular session so we can open the first of 3 public hearings.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Yes, sir.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Now, is there a motion to open up the first of 3 public hearings to approve the conditional use permit at 5370 Ash Street?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Background and history. The applicant, Kelvin Waters, is requesting a conditional use permit to operate a church, school, and associated offices at 5370 Ash Street. This property is in the single-family residential district. Places of worship, private schools, and daycares require conditional use permits to operate in the single-family residential district. Currently, the property houses occasional worship services and a virtual learning school. Staff recommended approval of a conditional use permit to allow a school, church, and a daycare in the single-family residential district with the following conditions. First, the applicant and/or his tenants cannot operate a trucking or freight business in this location. Second, the applicant and/or his tenants may be allowed to operate a school, church, and daycare and offices associated with those uses. However, no other offices or commercial uses will be permitted. Third, storage of vehicles, trucks, and trailers is prohibited. Fourth, violation of these conditions will result in the loss of the conditional use permit and associated business licenses. The Planning Commission voted to approve the conditional use permit with these stated conditions. Now, for the public hearing, the charter allows for 10 minutes of those in favor of approving the conditional use permit, and then 10 minutes for those in opposition of the conditional use permit. And it's 10 minutes in totality per side. So if there's anyone that wants to speak in favor of the conditional use permit for 5370, you may line up at the podium now.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Hello, how are you?
My name is Kelvin Waters. I'm the owner of the property. I've been having my private school for 15 years. I've been in Forest Park over 35 years since I got out of college. So Forest Park really my home. So this is where I've been since I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. The reason why I moved my school back to Forest Park, because I worked in the school system here. I know what the system, what we need in Forest Park. So that's why I brought my school back home to Forest Park. My school really is a performing arts school, so we're gonna be offering a lot of different things, whether it's the music, the dance, the art. And also we concentrate on special need kids. We have a lot of kids in our school with IEPs, 504s, that we help kids get to school. Currently, we have 250 kids enrolled now. We've been virtual because I haven't been able to get a permit because I had to come before you guys. Boys, the business side of the church, when we purchased the church, it was so much need to be done to the church. So we was asking, I'm asking the board to allow us, the bottom part of the church, the school church has 24 offices. So what we were trying to do is to raise money because we need to put a brand new roof on there, air conditioning units. Just a lot need to be done. The church been since 1942 and no work been done to the church. So when we came in, it's a lot of work. So what we was trying to do is rent out the office space just for office use only, for people to help raise money to get the things that we need done inside the schools, the school building and the church. So that's all I want to say.
Good afternoon. My name is Pastor Summers. I'm the pastor of the Restoration.
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on, please, the time. Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm Pastor Summers. I'm the pastor of that church, Restoration Delivered, that we just bought in November. And like Brother Waters said, the school is great. I've been part of his school for the last 15 years and watch him go from place to place. And now he got a place that he can call his own is a great step. And for as the church had got a lot of work to be done. And the purpose of trying to rent some of the office at the bottom of the church is to help generate some finance for the church. The roof, we got a price today for the roof. And the guys say going $20,000 just to get the roof done. And this is just to help us accumulate some of this money so that we can get a lot of stuff done at that location. The church been there a long time, and Ash Street had operated for a long time. And now we just want to take it to another level. And with your help and your permission, allow us to have some of these things in place. I believe that we can be a beacon in this community as we get the church up and running the right way. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. And so if there's anyone that wants to speak in opposition of this permit, you may line up at the podium. All right, if there are none, I do have a question. So I thought it said that the offices were for the and offices associated with those uses, meaning the church, the school, and daycare. But it sounds like they're wanting to rent out office space.
In the residential district, you cannot rent out office space. We're saying office that is associated with the church. For example, if someone is performing accounting services for the church, then they can do that. But as far as renting it out to some outside business or anything like that, you cannot do it in the residential district.
Is that your understanding, Mr. Waters? Can you come up to the microphone, please?
Yes, ma'am. That was my understanding once I went to a board last week. They told me to come up for you guys and y'all can make decisions to make the change as need be. When I purchased that property, I was told it was zoned for commercial. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be a school before it was a church. So when I purchased it, I thought it was zoned commercial. You know, so that's why, you know what I'm saying? I want to do other things inside for its office space use. So that's basically why I asked them to come before you guys and explain what we're trying to do, if we could.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to clarify, but in defense of Mr. Waters, the Clayton County map shows commercial, but our ordinance trumps Clayton County, and it was residential. It's always been residential.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to close this public hearing for the conditional use permit at 5370 Ash Street?
So,
I got a question.
Oh,
Ms.
yes,
Mayor.
sir. Yes.
I was just curious on the kids' behalf, the gentleman was talking about it, needed some repairs and stuff. Is it intact enough now to support children to have class there or whatever without doing any major repairs?
It's intact to house the children. The church itself, when it rained, we have to put literally, and this is no joke, about 19 pans down because the whole side of the church is just leaking. But for as the education building in the back for the students and the other classroom is intact. We just have a problem with the church leaking real bad.
Well, is the bathrooms, water facilities and all that's intact?
Everything is intact, just the roof on the church is.
Are you planning on any overnight staying or anything like that involved in your nursery?
No, sir.
It's all gonna be day to day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Long as we got facilities, we can go to the bathroom and get a drink of water. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm.
Again, the where we're having the daycare and the school is no problem. It's the church that is leaking real bad.
Very good.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to close out this public hearing for the conditional use permit at 5370 Ash Street?
I got a question, Mayor.
Wait, okay, let's close it out. Then we'll call for the motion and then we'll have the discussion again.
Okay, good.
Okay,
so moved.
that was Councilwoman James. Is there a
Second.
second? That was Councilman Gutierrez. All in favor? Opposed? All right, thank you. So is there a motion to approve this item?
No, we're still in the
We need
public.
discussion though, Mayor.
I know we gotta get the motion, then a second, and then I'll open it up for discussion.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we in the public hearing section now? Because we opened up the public
just
hearing for
closed.
all three.
No, I opened it up for this one.
Okay.
And so we just closed it. So now I'm opening up for the vote.
Okay.
So is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we approve this item.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I second it.
That was Councilman Antoine. And so you did have a question, so it's open up for discussion.
So are we saying that they could rent out in their facility? Is that what we're saying? No, we're not saying.
Yeah, that's.
We're saying that they cannot rent out any spaces. It will be tantamount to a commercial use. Again, this is a residential district, always been a residential district. And in order to even have a church in a residential district now with our new ordinance, you got to have a conditional use permit. And may I just make a recommendation that if you make a motion, if you want to, you need to make a motion with the conditions, if you want to place those conditions.
How do you guys
Yeah.
feel about that?
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, I got,
Oh, you come on up. Yes, sir.
we got hooped with one time, come ahead, sir, over there where Officer Cash was
Mhm.
thing, that shopping center or strip mall or whatever there, the people come to us with one thing and then we passed it. And then when we left, this is not nothing pertaining to you. Then when later on, he sold it to somebody else, which they changed everything. As long as we've got groundwork for the proper, everything in place where it can't be switched around, I would be in favor of it, as long as we don't get hoodwinked, more or less. And things change and start moving things in that's not supposed to be there and things like that, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
What I want to say, I don't plan on going anywhere. We've been over 15 years. Hopefully we could be up another 50 more kids, my grandkids to run the school. All I want to do is come in and make it a great church and also a great school for this community. I think it's going to do great things. Matter of fact, I know it's going to do great things here. I just want to work well with the community, to bring great things here. All right.
All right, thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to withdraw my motion and
And
make the
restate it.
motion to be that we approve this item with the recommended conditions.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. Any further discussion?
Yes, and this is the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission?
Correct.
Yes, further discussion, I would say that, sir, if you, when you have other people that is wanting to do offices that may be appropriate, they can come, you can come again to the council to consider whatever that might be.
Wait,
That is open for you. to do.
wait. Point of clarification.
Yes, go ahead.
What are you,
No, I'm saying we're approving the motion with, it is a motion on the floor and seconding that we approve with the recommended conditions. But I'm
Correct.
saying that if there is a business that's associated with the school that may come along that he needs a permit for, he could still come. Is that not correct?
No.
no, that's not
For the
correct.
That's not correct.
Okay.
So the conditional use is for these items.
Only.
However, they cannot run a business. For example, if you want to do a tax business out of the church, you can't do it.
Mhm.
If you wanted to have a trucking office in the building, you can't do it. It's only businesses that are associated with the church. For example, if Mr. Waters want to have his accountant in the building, that's part of the church. Sure, he can have it in the building. But the accounting can't have an office in there, only associated with the business of the church only, period. I mean, someone can't rent the place out and get a profit. Is that clear enough? Okay.
All right, I'll call for the vote. Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells?
I abstain.
Okay, and Councilman Mears?
Yes, under the stipulations of the contract.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, again.
Now, is there a motion to open up the second of the 3 public hearings for the council approval of text amendments? Background and history. On September 2021, The city council approved the City of Forest Parks new zoning and ordinance and sign ordinance. With these changes, the Planning and Community Development Department has discovered some areas of these ordinances that need to be amended for clarity. The requested text amendments will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, and the use will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Is there a motion to open up this public hearing?
So move.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
A second.
That was Councilman Mears. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. So as with the other public hearing, the charter allows 10 minutes per side. Those in favor of and in opposition against this item, we will set the clock and allow those who wants to speak in favor of this item to please come to the podium. All right, there are none. Is there anyone who want to speak in opposition of this item? You can come to the podium now.
Yes, I'm just, point of clarification. Is this opening up the sign ordinance that we have? The change, is that going to change?
Well, so right now, this is just for people who are in opposition of this ordinance. So if you want to speak to that, you can at this moment.
Okay. Well, okay, I still don't understand it, but
You come back. You come back up there when we call for that.
No, 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 no. Wait till we open it up back up for discussion. And if someone has another question, then we'll call, you can come up. Okay. So with that said, is there a motion to close out this public hearing?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now, is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. Any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I would just, for clarity's sake, I would say that this is just, text. It's already what we have. It's just the wording that's being changed. So there's no change, significant change. And Mr. Shelby, if you want to elaborate, but this is just
Yeah, you
text
can. Yes,
changes.
sir.
Yeah, basically, these are just technical changes to our ordinance. For example, when we looked at it under home occupation, we want to be more clear about what uses can happen within home occupation. Instead of just saying you can have these few uses, we actually outline all the uses that we're looking at. As far as signs in the city, we say that we want freestanding signs. However, our ordinance says it calls for monument signs. So we just want to clarify that it is a monument sign that we're talking about, not just a freestanding sign. And then I think the other one was mostly a scribe error. They took sentences and put them together that didn't make sense. And so we're just clarifying that. And I think the other one is non-conforming use. You're right, Katie. The non-conforming use, we clarify that as well. It talks about when you're grandfathered in, when you're not grandfathered in. So basically, it's just clarification of what we already have within our ordinance. You're absolutely right, Councilwoman James.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Are you good, Dr. Peeler, with that? Did you understand it fully?
Mhm.
Good.
Thank you. All right, Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Antoine.
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells.
Yes.
And Councilman Mears.
Yes.
Thank you. Is that all of them? Oh, no, okay. Now, is there a motion to open up the last of the public hearings for the council approval of technical map amendments? Background and history. The Planning and Community Development Department is proposing several map amendments. PC 2022-02 includes changes to the zoning map. In September 2021, the City of Forest Park City Council adopted a new zoning ordinance and new zoning map. Staff finds that certain zoning districts, as shown on the zoning map, are inconsistent with the existing character and development areas of the city. The proposed technical map amendment corrects technical errors to the zoning map that were adopted in September of 2021. The requested map amendments will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, and the use will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Now, as with the others, those who want to speak in favor of this item can come to the podium.
I make a motion, we are going to public hearing.
Oh, yes, that's right. All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Now, all those in favor can come to the podium now. If there are none, is there any in opposition of this item? You can come to the podium now.
Don't move, Shelby.
All right, there are none. So is there a motion to close this public hearing?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Antoine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Now, is there a motion to approve this item?
So move.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Gutierrez, any further discussion?
Just have one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
The Ash Street industrial commercial change, does that not include the church? It's
If you come up to the microphone, Katie.
it shows Park Avenue and Ash Street is the one behind Little Caesars and Rite Aid. I'm trying to.
That does not. That just includes the one for Star Park soccer fields, and there's the West Star Park neighborhood. That doesn't quite go
Oh,
far
okay.
enough over
Gotcha.
for the Ash Street.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll call for the vote. Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes.
And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
All right, thank you. We have two who have signed up for our public comments. Ms. Lunsford, do you have the floor, ma'am? Ms. Diane, you have the clock? Okay. You have the floor? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
I have a couple of questions or comments I'd like to make. Number one is that the last city council meeting that I attended, Clark here proposed his new super duper gonna get Forest Park safe again thing. Why didn't he start this on the first murder that we had in Forest Park under his reign? Number two is that he was going to have all his patrol officers skedaddling around and protecting our city. I live on Skyland Drive. Skyland Drive, Mr. Clark.
Direct the comments to the chair, please.
I'm sorry. Know how I feel about Clark. So anyway, I do not see any PD going down our street. We have complained to PD before about one motorcyclist that y'all got to hear if y'all on the south side of town. Honest to Pete, this kid who lives on Skyland revs his motorcycle and it is annoying. He likes to do it. And he starts on Skyland, he'll go down Greenwood or he'll go and hit Phillips. And he goes down Pine Ridge as far as he can. And I assume he runs on Ash Street. You hear him, you know if he stops. We would like to have PD a little bit more present around Ward 5 in the evening time so they can hear this joker and pull him over. Is there an ordinance against this motorcycle and the racket he makes? Do we have one? I think that's about it. It was just around Clark. I think Clark needs to just step down. He's been on a gravy train for 4 years. And I think it's time for him to be, if he wants to stay with us, to drive a regular unit around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's very disrespectful to address a chief in that manner. So I would ask moving forward that when we refer to our staff, that we refer to them by their titles and not be disrespectful.
Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Ms. Salami?
Yeah, I bought some notes today. Oh, by the way, I won my volleyball game, so I'm good. But let me come serious. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm gonna come with a different perspective about, Madam Chair, about our public safety department. I have notes here from our community, Ward 3. This past weekend, we had 2 or 3 arrested for a tragic murder accident in there. I even had constituents call that the chief and his staff went to sit to comfort them. So I beg the pardon of that. And we have to look at that when you're in a job and you're in a capacity of 20 to 22 citizens, and you have what you have to work with. You have to, he just stood last week and said he was doing some changes to his staff. He reconciled that. So I'm going to give the chief the kudos. Because if I want to go back home with my family and I'm giving my public works, my service to my community, everybody not going to agree. We don't even all agree. But let's be fair here. We do have public service here. If I call the police for everything and they showed up every time I call, kudos to me. A lot of times things come in our city doesn't even belong in our city. It just happened to be passing through our cities. I received a note someone was sitting around about, Madam Chair, you and the city manager and Chief Clark. I don't have anything to do with that. Hiring and firing, that's y'all prerogative. You all voted to vote whoever in and they did whatever. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to say that I think that my family and some of my constituents feel he's doing an amazing job. He's doing something that we have to tolerate right now, and that is let him do his job. So we as a collective body get behind him and let's get it straight. Now I'm moving from that. I can't have some people listen on Zoom. They had some questions because they could not be here. One of the questions, Madam Chair, is why is it that they got Mr. Cooper makes $28,000 for a board that no other city manager has gotten paid for before? And is it so that the only board that get paid is the planning and zoning? Y'all can answer that later. I want to get through. And I want to give kudos to my volleyball team. I'm just real proud of my volleyball. I had some girls. My babies didn't have self-esteem. They didn't have confidence. But I can tell you, and I'm sure I got a witness over there in that right corner, they have really grown. And the last but not least, I want to make sure that I put this in a minute for my household. I understand there is not going to be any polls open for people to vote after the primary. And I would think it would be so embarrassing for the city of Forest Park to be the largest city with a mayor and
Yes, ma'am.
I got it there, but give us a voting poll. You next.
All right, let's see. The adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So move.
That was Councilman Antoine.
Go.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. Any discussion? Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes.
And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Have everyone reviewed the April 18th regular and work session meeting minutes? And if so, are there any changes to be recommended? All right, if there are none, is there a motion to group said minutes together and approve?
Yes.
Yes.
So move.
That was Councilman
Second.
Antoine. That was, okay. Councilman Gutierrez, any further discussion?
Man.
Councilwoman James?
Yes.
Councilman Antoine?
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells? Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry. And Councilman Mears?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 7, council approval to enter into an agreement with Clayton County Summer Food Service Program. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Antoine, any further discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sir.
I would just, something that was brought up with the senior committee was having hot meals also for our seniors down at the rec center. So I don't know, Tyreek, I would maybe like to explore that option and see what that would look like and see, just, I know that there's a lot of budget cuts, but it was something that it was a unanimous thing. So since we're mentioning this, it just came to my mind. Just a thought.
Councilwoman James,
Yes.
Councilman Antoine.
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells. Yes. And Councilman Mears.
Yes.
Thank you. Council approval of a citywide janitorial service vendor. Is there a motion to approve this item?
Yes.
Councilwoman
So
Ja-
moved.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
No, Councilman Antoine.
You got it, you got it.
Any further discussion? Councilwoman James.
Yes.
Councilman Antoine.
Yes.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wells.
Abstain.
And Councilman Mears.
Yes.
Thank you. Closing comments by the governing body. Councilwoman James.
Okay, first of all, thanks to everyone that showed up this evening. We appreciate you. Thanks to everyone that showed up this evening. We appreciate you for being here. Just a few dates I want to remind everyone of. May 13th is the last day for the seniors at Forest Park High School. And it may be the last day for seniors all over Clayton County schools. May the 24th is the official last day of school. May 25th is the graduation for our seniors. Mark your calendar for May 21st. That will be the day where we will have the caravan of the seniors traveling through the city of Forest Park. They will leave out of the school at 11 a.m. and end up at Star Park, where we have some great things happening at Star Park. We're going to have a community field day on that day, which encompasses all of the schools, elementary, middle, and high, beginning at 11 o'clock on the Kiwanis Stadium with Mr. Olympian. And what else do I have here? May 19th is going to be my monthly ward meeting. It will be mostly virtual, but in person, if you would like to be in person, I will be at the high school. I'm just kind of juggling my time. So once I get out of being at the high school and getting stuff done, then we'll move back to the community center. But if you want to be in person, you can join me on May 19th at 5 p.m. And then I wanted to piggyback on something Dr. Beeler said when he said the word hope. I just wanted to say that hope deferred makes the heart sick. So I want to encourage everyone to exercise that hope and give out that hope so that we won't have hearts that are sick. I think hope requires faith, patience, humility, meekness, long suffering, and that's all I want to say about that. Okay, and then again, I want to say, what do I have here? Okay, I said my ward meeting. Okay, oh, and then I just want to really piggyback again on what I said about our chief. I think we need to be very respectful and respect the title. I know oftentimes that, I've been called other than my title, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But I will not allow our employees that are doing a great job in our city to be degraded. And then one final thing I would say is I am a very proud mama. My daughter, Olivia Joy James, will have her commencement exercise on May 16th, which I will not be here. So I will try to make it on virtual, but I will be in Ohio at the College of Worcester. She will be exercising her commencement exercise. However, she will not graduate until after the fall because she took a gap year or a gap semester when the pandemic happened so that she could study abroad. So for the fall semester, my baby will be going to Argentina. So I am a proud mama. This is a Forest Park resident born and raised. So Olivia Joy, if you're listening to this, congratulations.
Excellent. Congratulations, Councilman Antoine.
Yes. First, Dr. Bueller, yes. Every morning I usually meditate on the word of God, and that was exactly what God gave me today. So that just confirms that we're aligned spiritually. The city is. I want to give a shout out to all the new employees that joined the best all-star team. That's Forest Park team, that is. Give a shout out to you, all the officers, which is the best chief, I'll say, in this country. That's Chief Clark, that is, right there. Also, I want to give a big shout out to us representing the city beautifully on last week. The mayor and I, Kim, city manager, we all represent, and we put Forest Park on a good platform. As you had Hines Ward, former NFL MVP 2 times, and with all the NFL players that was there, and they mentioned Forest Park. Every time that he spoke, Hines Ward that is, he mentioned Forest Park and how he wants to give back and support Forest Park. So out of all the schools, Forest Park Hines Ward is in that named for us as a city. So that's big when you have an NFL star that could come back and give back to his community. Also want to share this from my heart. Haiti, as you all know, is where I'm from. They, of course, those that have been studying, president been assassinated. There is no government there. And we've partnered up, we made a partnership with Mibale, that's the city within the country. And what's going on now is guns, weapons are being funneled to these bandits, the gangs. And therefore the gangs are running the people out of the country. And they're going to like the villages. So imagine you're in Atlanta and the gangs like control the city, and now they're running towards Riverdale, Forest Park, and people are all like scared. And this is why it's important that we send these fire trucks, because when you have a city that's growing with population, of course, you're gonna need more of everything, and this is coming from the city that they're asking me to be a spokesman for them, because obviously we don't hear it on the news, but this is not the only country that's in war. And I just want everybody to take that serious, because that's something that we don't even like see. But also, I want to give a shout out to the recycling program. That's something that I would like to see in not just Forest Park, but other places. People need to know the importance of recycling. And happy Mother's Day, all those that are mothers. I want to say in my country, bon fête maman jou. God bless you guys.
Thank you. Councilman Gutierrez.
Hello, everybody. So I just first off want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, everybody who's listening. And thank you, Dr. Bueller. That was a really good message. And I think hope and faith is what gets us through, and just being optimistic and believing. This month, I will not have a cleanup because we will be at a retreat as a council discussing the budget. So there will be no cleanup. I will be teaming up with, I'm gonna find out when the cleanup is for our first Adopt a Sign organization that now has a sign posted up, the Fort Gillum Lodge number 601, the Prince Lodge. So thank you for them. Hopefully this will be the first of many to come. They have committed to cleaning up the road once a month, and we're going to be providing to them, letting them borrow the picks and the vests and all that stuff to make sure they're safe. I want to welcome all the new employees, and I want to just say also, just thank you all. I appreciate it. I love hearing the public comments, but let's just be respectful and respect the titles that we have. At the end of the day, I feel safe here in Forest Park. So thank you, Chief, for what you do every day. Nobody's perfect. So, we're working on it. I'm not perfect up here. But this Saturday, I will not also be at the Family Wellness Event Day. This event was postponed because of the rain we had in April. So make sure you come out with your family. It's in partnership with the Hand, Heart, and Soul Project. They are based out of the Little Lions Learning Center. So make sure you bring your family out. There's going to be like a whole bunch of just healthy wellness activities and also complimentary giveaways for people that register. So that'll be here at Star Park. And this Friday, we'll be celebrating our teachers and as well as our mothers for this Food Truck Friday. So make sure you come out. The new location is at Lee Park, right there across the old library. So it's on Main Street. We'll be showing a movie and just building community. So I think that's it. I just lastly, Dr. Falami, congratulations on your volleyball team. We went to the baseball inauguration, and I just thought that I've never been to any baseball things like that. I go see the Braves, but nothing local, and it was just amazing to see the excitement from the little kids and all of. I think Director Maxwell had him read out something where it was like, "We're all volunteers," and I just, if everybody in here were to volunteer and take up one of those teams, like the impact that it would make on our youth, like Dr. Falami said, their self-esteem sometimes as an educator, the words you say to a child impact them long-term. Many times I've had people come back and tell me something I said to them at one point, which, fortunately for me, you see so many of them. I love my profession because you just plant those seeds and then later they grow. So that's that. And we will be having our Asian Heritage Month. Your city, the city of Forest Park, is funding a cultural festival on May 28th from 4 to 9. We've had a few meetings. If you know of any vendors that want to come out, there is no fee for the vendors. It's our first festival, so we want to make it inclusive and expose the culture of the community that we have here in Forest Park as much as possible. So get with Demarian or Tanisha, our council aides, and just thank you for our employees, Director Shelby, you, Caitlin, Director Maxwell, Director Jinx, the finance directors, Bruce, everybody. Just thank you for what you do, because without y'all getting this forward, I mean, we're just up here and we're the faces of all the work that you do. So thank you.
Councilwoman Wells.
Yes, I'd like to say thanks to everyone for coming out, hanging out with us for this long but short meeting. Just want to remind everyone on May the 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Leonard Hartsfield Community Center, Ward 4. We have a town hall so we can discuss the issues, things that's going on in Ward 4, things that you want to see going on in Ward 4, and some of the projects, potential projects. June the 17th will be the first Fun Friday. We will have Mr. Maxwell. Can you tell me the name of the band again? 911? No, that's Ear Candy. Ear Candy will come out and perform for us, and we just have a good time. It's a family fun field day with the residents of the community. It's something that we're trying to keep going. Unfortunately, we don't know how that's going to go. So because of that, the VIP tables that include a lot of other things will go up because we want to continue to keep this thing going for our community. So whatever we have to do, it might make you sad for a minute, but once you get to the event, it'll change a lot of things. So June 17th from 7 to 11 at Star Park. And also, if you know of anyone in Ward 4 or business, a resident or business that deserves a beautification award, please let me know, because I can't be everywhere at once and it takes us as a community. So if you know somebody that keeps their yard beautiful or their business landscaping beautiful, please let me know so that they can be the recipient of the next Keep Ward 4 Beautiful gift card and recognition. Thank you guys so much for coming out and have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to explain because I don't just abstain from voting just to abstain from voting. So if I abstain from something, it's because I don't have all the information or I know something and I'm just not going to put myself in a situation to vote on something just because others are voting for it. I really want the information and I want to be aware of what I'm approving so that it won't come back to slap me in the face. So that's my only reason for abstaining. I just would like more information on certain things, or I have more information on certain things. So thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Mears.
Yes, I'm glad to also see everybody here tonight, and I just want to make a brief comment about the situation or the comments about Chief Clark. I've talked to him several times, and he and I see eye to eye, or I see his eye and he don't see mine. I don't know, but anyway, we agreed that soft cops cause crime. And I've talked to him several times in Ward 5 about doing whatever he has to do or getting his people to do whatever they have to do, because I have the same problem. In my ward is stop sign wide open, stuff like that. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. And I don't think slapping you on the hand when they'll slap you on the butt needs to be done. So I give him permission, as far as I can, to do whatever it takes to keep law and order in my ward, including me. It doesn't matter. Whoever breaks the law needs to be punished. And they do it on a regular basis because it's easy to get away with it. So what we need to do is work with Chief Clark, give him permission to do what he has to do to get his people to do what they have to do and make Forest Park a safer place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me first start out by saying that I am Councilman Antoine, hearing you talk about what's going on in Haiti currently makes my heart palpitate even faster, because my baby will be in Haiti this week. No, she's not flying there. Well, she's flying there, but she's not doing a solo flight there. But, you know, she's like a 5-time rugby champion, and she links up with organizations that go to different countries to teach rugby to the local residents. And so she partnered with another organization. And so she will be in Haiti. And I was going to let you know so you can give me your people's contacts so they can look out for her. So every time I'm one of those moms. I reach out to the embassy to let them know my baby is going to be there. And but yeah, so I was worried about Haiti to begin with, and now I'm really, really, really worried. But God is with her, and she's going to be okay. And I know your people will look out for her. So let me also address a comment that was made about some information that was circulating about myself, Dr. Cooper, and Chief Clark. It was an email that went out. There's been a series of emails that have been going out about elected officials in Clayton County. And so this email made some allegations that were false. And if it is the same correspondence, one of the allegations was that Chief Clark hired, myself, Dr. Cooper, and Chief Clark were in cahoots to hire someone. And with it being a personnel matter, I'm kind of going to be a little bit vague here. But let me start by saying, contrary to what some people want to believe, I do not hire. I do not fire. I can veto. Dr. Cooper, if asked his opinion, will give his opinion on any personnel matters. And as a director, the directors have the ability to hire and fire at their leisure. And so one of the allegations in that correspondence was that this particular person was hired as a result of the former fire chief Don Horton's investigation. The allegation was that this person was an applicant during that time, which is false. Another allegation was that this person was making six figures. And while that is not true, let me just say this. If the position called for a 6-figure salary, then said person who was chosen to fill that role would make 6 figures. But in this case, it did not. There was also said that the applicant was getting a car. Well, again, if the position calls for such, which it does, then that person would be driving a police car. And the whole notion of this corruption allegation is, again, another farce. And I just find it appalling at the lengths that people will go through to try to hurt other people, and it all be unmerited and false. So Chief Clark, while there are some things we may not agree on, I do feel safe in Forest Park. If there's any questions that I have, I do bring them to you or to Dr. Cooper. And I am confident in your ability to run your department and lead the department and continue in the direction that Forest Park is going in terms of our law enforcement. And so I just want to thank you for what you're doing. And with any other hiring, there is a process that people go through, and it's different components. It's not just one area and it sticks there. They look at several different factors. And if this person turned out to be the most qualified, then I'm going to trust your judgment that this person is the most qualified and therefore deserved the appointment that they were put in. So let me also say,
Taking questions.
No, I got something.
well, I'm not done.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes. With the election part, I know this is a county ran election, and so we'll look into why or why not there may not be any other precincts after the primary in the city, and so we will look into that. Councilman Mears, you wanted to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Can I talk now?
You have the floor, sir.
On my city phone, we get different messages and emails and stuff like that. And I've received a couple of emails toward what the mayor's trying to talk about, is talking about Mr. Clark. But somehow or another, well, I guess we're all drawn in it. I don't know. I don't know how I got the email to the point where that we were good old boys theory after Mr. Clark or whatever. I mean, I got it's about 5 paragraphs. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've heard. I've never been in a conspiracy like that. So there's people out there that causes those kind of problems or insinuates, you know, if you're going to throw me in a dogfight, I want to get ready. I mean, I want to shape up. You know what I'm talking about? So don't put me as them or us or we or like that. And usually, if I got something to say about somebody or something, I'm man enough to come up here in front of everybody. And I'll say it myself. I don't need people accusations on me and talking about me and talking about other people. And if you want to know something, I'm plain as outdoors. All you got to do is ask me. And I'll embarrass you because I'll tell you just like it is. So I just want Mr. Clark to understand that I'm not in a good old boys after you, personally, from me to you, that I'm not involved in it, even though I got associated by proxy. But anyway, that's what I want. Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything because I have a lawsuit against me, but I received that same email. Don't know where it come from. It was kind of crazy and didn't make any sense, but it is what it is. But with your statement, Mayor, that you made as far as hiring, I received a message, a long message, and I actually called Mike, and I thought we were going to be in executive session because to me, this is not the appropriate place to discuss personnel matters. It's not the appropriate place. But since we're talking about it, I received the email and it had some alarming things in there. And that's probably what you're referring to, because I did call Mike and I'm sure Mike called y'all. But to me, it was kind of real, it was distasteful. And I asked the person to call me, they wouldn't call. And so I don't know who it is, but it did say that the lady who did the investigation on Chief Horton is now a member of the Forest Park Police Department. And if that's the case, well, I know now because she was just introduced tonight, it's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look. You know, so although if somebody may say that wasn't the case, that's very much what it looks like to me and to others, because like I said, I received the message. I called our city attorney, as I should, to ask him if this was the case, if he knew about it. And sad to say, I just don't trust a lot of people, but I don't know what he said or did about it. But yeah, it was alarming to me. And so I wanted information on it. So I reached out and today it was proven. So it doesn't look right as a city to have somebody to be accused of certain allegations and then the person that investigate that, which I had my thoughts on that, is now a captain in the police department. And so officers feel that way and officers reach out to people and people talk about it. Things are going to be talked about. It's not going to be all good. And if I want to look into something, I'm going to look into it. And that's what I did. So no, we don't have anything to do with the hiring process. And we shouldn't be involved in who's getting hired and who's not. But decisions need to make sense. And to me, that wasn't a great decision. But that's it. Thanks.
Okay, and then we do have to go back into executive session. So is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into an executive session for personnel, litigation, and real estate matters?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. You don't stay, ma'am. And I'm gonna send it to y'all.